I'm going to leave it like that for a moment. Greetings. Hello, Ivana. The video looks very shaky today. Well, everything is good over here. My guess would be that there's big storms and stuff going on around here. Not exactly right here, but they're very big in certain areas nearby, especially down in California. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the big internet routing systems go through, California and so on. Ivona, keep me posted if it continues to be shaky. Basically everything looks to be pretty much optimal over here for now. I'm just going to do some things like that. Does that look really bad or rough to you? Anyway, that's today's Astro Doodle. I'll come back to this in a minute. Hello, Love Triber. Good evening. This is today's TarotLumination Astro Doodle. I'm hoping you can see the soft gray color that I'm using for the planets instead of just black. I know it's confusing at times, but I'll get to this in a minute. So before I add the really critical thing that bugs me a lot, just wanted to look at this one here. First of all, let me just say hello. I should let you know I'm actually here. Good evening. This is TarotLumination. It's Sunday night, the 20th of August, 2023. We dropped from about 107 to 97 to 87, and right now it's about 77. We dropped 30 degrees in 24 hours. Well, 36 hours. It's fantastic. Any minute now, apparently, we're going to have a deluge monsoon rain. But we'll see. Who knows? Everything might just completely black out with the internet and power and electricity. So just, Okay, sound is good, but movement is shaky. That's not good. That tells me that the internet, probably over the whole United States, is on overload right now. That's my guess. I believe Sunday is a very busy time for internet because people, a lot of people just stay in these days, just stay home. They go online. They're streaming, streaming videos, streaming movies. They're doing their Netflix and Primetime and Max and Hulu and HBOs and all of that stuff. And it sucks up huge amounts of bandwidth on the internet. So it's just like traffic. Think of it as traffic. Just like, very busy highway traffic. That's my excuse. And I'm sticking to it. All right, let me go back here again. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for dropping by. Today's Astro Doodle. If you look carefully, I don't know if you can see it, we've actually had this for several days now. This big, fat, grand Earth trine. Mars in Virgo, Jupiter and Uranus over there in Taurus, and Pluto in Capricorn at pretty nice tight degrees to make a really sweet grand Earth trine. So from my perspective, it's very stabilizing for the human condition. like emotions and things like that. And it also brings a very good, solid, resounding reality check to all the phony BS that's going on right now with human behavior. Now, it just so happens with this grand trine, we've also got Neptune at play over here, with the sextile here, so it's very harmonious. So you add this all up, it's a kite. They call it a kite because it looks like a kite. Can you see that? Ding, ding, ding. Those tend to be pretty powerful and pretty harmonious. And it gives us a glimpse into a tremendous amount about what's not working. Because inside this particular kite, well, inside any kite, you will find a massive, powerful opposition. So this could be any kind of kite anywhere, an air sign or a water sign kite. This happens to be a grand earth sign kite. But if you had a planet there at the sextile's position, then it creates the kite. Otherwise, it would just be the grand trine, which is still very nice. But when you add in Neptune here, and it's opposing almost exactly Mercury and Mars in Virgo over here, Neptune in Pisces. Okay, so here's my, my kind of loose opinion about what this means to me personally. I'll share that. Cheers, I'm drinking some iced tea. What's happening is, I feel that we're getting moments of extreme clarity about almost anything and everything in the behavior of people across the earth that is very sick, diseased, unhealthy, sad, tragic. It could be anything. It's like almost anything that hurts really badly, or where people are being hurt really badly. For example, massive flooding in China. Wherever you find Neptune, you will find loss, disappointment, tragedy, pain, and suffering frequently from sources that seem very, very difficult to recognize or even describe them. 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. So, for example, China is a very obvious situation where we're looking at classic tragic expression of Neptune in the 12th house in Pisces. So the way I see it, this is showing up the tragedies in China right now, where millions and millions of people are devastated, lives homeless, ruined, careers, agriculture ruined. And then the question is, so what do we do about it? Well, you've got to reveal it to heal it. In order to heal the horrific problems going on over here, they have to have a mind-boggling mind warp. Mercury in Virgo, it's going to go retrograde in a few days. So it's going to give the world a chance to figure out, oh my God, what's wrong? We're seeing everything that's wrong. So what are we going to do to fix it? And Mars will be activated. So that's my interpretation of this particular thing. And with the big fat grand trine here, it adds like a moment of stability and clarity, and it to me it acts like as a massive shock absorber to the actual extreme amount of pain, tragedy, and suffering that's happening right now. I'll probably have to make backup videos about this because it's ongoing and it's slow moving. But as you know, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of massive wildfires all over here. All right? It's devastating. Billions of tons of carbon monoxide and toxic fumes, and trees, beautiful, beautiful trees, torched, just torched. People's lives destroyed, people having to evacuate. That's over here. Right now, live in action at this very moment, of course, we have Hurricane Hillary just plowing up through here. Massive, massive, massive amounts of rainfall are already happening here. And right now I'm broadcasting from here. And the heavy rain's going to come in very late tonight and very early tomorrow. So I think we should be okay for now. But there are going to be a lot of crops damaged and lives ruined. Okay, over here. Seriously. We've got more big hurricanes coming in here. It's going to devastate people. Again, sickness comes from all sources. Over here we have massive, violent revolutions, politically motivated, all over here in the Sahel region of Africa. We've got Pakistan imploding financially, politically, economically. We've got Iran, or is it Iraq? No, we've got Iraq over here is turning into a complete desert, and pretty much all natural sources of water are disappearing and dried up. It's devastating for millions of Iraqis. India, massive, massive floods. We're not seeing a lot of that reported. We're not seeing hardly anything talking about reported except for this thing here because we're in America. Over here, I talked about this massive flooding. They're still dealing with the flooding over here after, 10 days or so? It's just catastrophic. Yup. So all of that stuff's going on right now. And I'm focusing on the water issues. So with these big storms here, they're showing huge anomalies in the ocean water temperatures in here and in here, which is making these big hurricanes much, much worse. All right, so that's the watery stuff. I'm still going to wait to put the orange thingamajig in here. We have this big fat hard square between the Leo-Taurus energy right now. And the way I see it, of course, number one is global financial chaos, as our global financial system is getting shredded, pulverized, as an invisible war is being waged between fake money and real money. The fake money, owned and operated and controlled by the globalist elites, is trying to fight off the advancement of real money that is starting to emerge in the world, especially of cryptocurrency and alternatives to the US dollar. It is a war. This is war. Okay? Now, secondarily, if you look at the Taurus energy here, Jupiter in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, we're talking about planet Earth itself. So again, we're seeing lots of chaotic convulsions, highly unpredictable natural disasters being amplified by Jupiter. So guess what? That's what we're seeing across the whole of our planet right now. The typical Uranus and Taurus things: flooding, volcanoes, fires, hurricanes, drought, tectonic plates, earthquake, whatever else, all the big nature things, fire, all those things. A lot of it's very, very frightening. There's a lot of deep suspicion as well. I have a lot of suspicions about the big fires. About the big fires over there. That's being heavily reported around the world with the Hawaiian Islands. And about the big fires up here. There are a lot of people who are hinting, quietly suggesting that these are intentional for various evil, nefarious reasons. Again, there are people who are effectively owning and operating and running this world, who have zero interest or empathy for the average human person. They're much more interested in what they can get for themselves, turning this whole thing here into a farm so that we can be farmed. We, the people, are being farmed. But a lot of people are waking up and realizing, oh my God, I don't want to be farmed. I want my freedom. So you're seeing it, uprisings all over planet Earth, where a lot of people, millions and millions of people, are rising up against the status quo, especially in politics. And so there's a lot of revolution, violent revolution. It's already happening, but next year it's going to get even a lot more crazy because Pluto's going to go into Aquarius, and then things are going to get extremely volatile, radical stuff going on. So that's that thing over here. So two aspects to this hard square. The Leo bright dazzling sun and the Mercury retrograde together are showing up anything and everything that's wrong. It's effectively, we're seeing the chaos in the global financial system. Now I am going to put in the big orange blob. There we go. You probably know this from previous videos. This is the North Node axis. The Aries North Node over here. Oh gosh, you can't even see it. Sorry. What a mess. I'll put it up really close. So this is the North Node in Aries at the very high degree marks, like 28, 29, I think 27. So this axis here is under extreme stress from Pluto over here. This is a very slow moving aspect. It's going to be with us for a while, and the stress is mounting up and mounting up. And what I believe in it, my opinion, is that it's waking up individual people. Billions of individual people are being woken up to the realization that they cannot trust the people they may have been conditioned to trust, especially like the politicians and the bankers and the corporations. Okay? What a lot of people are realizing is that, oh my God, I was just getting too lazy. Hint, hint, Libra. I was getting too lazy in my relationships, thinking that I could outsource everything that I can't do or don't want to do because it's too complicated regarding my political beliefs and attitudes, my finances, and my day-to-day business, and the borrowing and lending of money, and the investing of what I can do with my money, how can I protect my money, my privacy, myself over the long term. Well, as you know, we've been conditioned, especially over the last 110, 20 years or so, to put our money into the banks, and then we have to trust the banks, and we have to trust the government. And lo and behold, we're discovering that the very people who we've been conditioned to trust are the very people who are betraying us, we the people, the most. And that's because we have been lazy in our relationships and have outsourced our fundamental freedom towards the status quo elites who have all the power and the money and control. And they want to consolidate all that power, money, and control more than ever before, because they're looking around planet Earth and thinking, my God, this is just now today, it's just one massive farm, prison camp. So we're going to hold every human person hostage and turn them into debt cows through debt slavery and CBDC finance, okay? So I'm just giving you my opinion. It's you might not like it. And so what does that mean? We have to take full custody of ourselves each time with the Aries North Node to put yourself first and realize that you, we the people, singularly, we are alone, need to become more and more than ever before 100% custodians of our power, and the control of our lives and our money, our privacy, our rights, our freedom, because all of that stuff is in extreme jeopardy right now, because the folks, the shadow people, are doing everything they can to entrap we the people before we realize that we're trapped. So it's a very, very precarious, very dangerous situation right now. Some people are waking up. Some people are choosing and refusing to wake up because they do not want to take responsibility for themselves. They want to continue to outsource anything and everything that they can to a third-party entity like a bank or a government or a church or a belief system that is not theirs or themselves. So, if their lives come unglued, who else can they blame? They can only blame themselves. I, for one, am doing everything I possibly can to stay on path and move in this direction towards my Aries North Node. I'm not saying I have an Aries North Node, but this aspect is affecting the whole of humanity right now. It's very, very important that we take full ownership and responsibility and control of who we really are, understanding our fragilities, understanding how we've been betrayed, how we've been conditioned, how we are being manipulated and controlled, to continue to dump all our delicious, beautiful, valuable energy back into the defunct, derelict, redundant aspects of the South Node in Libra. You're basically consigning yourself to be a prisoner of other people and their conditions, rather than deliberately choosing to break free and be yourself and be free. Okay? So that's my perspective. I haven't seen that anywhere else on YouTube or any astrologers. I'm just giving you my impression because you don't see any of this marked on any charts that I've ever studied. I do what I can to stay abreast of these things, and then I try to share my opinions in hopefully ways that are useful. A couple of things coming up. Okay, we've got August. We need to brace ourselves because September is going to be a very bumpy ride for a lot of people. Okay? The reason being is that we've already got heavy-duty retrogrades, okay? At this moment in time, it is the 20th, okay, right here. We're right here, right now. We've already got Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto that are retrograde. Any minute now, Mercury is going to go retrograde. And a week later, Uranus is going to go retrograde. So it's time to strap on your safety belt. Do whatever you can to, let's say, prep yourself for a lot of what I consider to be instability, where anything that can go wrong will go wrong in pretty much every aspect of your waking life right now. Is it your car? Is it your house? Is it your relationships? Is it your belief system? Is it your career? Is it your dreams and aspirations? Is it your health? What is it? Huge. Look at it this way. Okay, here's the chart we got right now. So by this time, let's see, today's the 20th. 10 days from now, I'm just going to put it on here like a little pretend thing. 10 days from now, okay, see this chart, I mean the moon's going to be somewhere else, okay, but 10 days from now, Mercury is going to be retrograde and Uranus is going to be retrograde, okay? So please, I don't, deep financial instabilities, okay, number one. Also, Mercury retrograde, financial instability. So please understand, we're going to see a lot of extreme instability in the global financial world, okay? A classic example would be the implosion of the Chinese economy. How is that going to impact the rest of the world? The de-dollarization of the American dollar. What's that going to look like? What's it going to look like with all these other countries that are realizing, oh my God, the whole system for Earth is collapsing, it's changing. What are we going to do so that we don't end up as roadkill? Because remember, here's the United States, preeminent with the US dollar, and every other country is sublimated to the United States dollar. And people are starting to realize, oh my God, we didn't understand it until recently, but that's actually a large reason why our country is imploding. Especially if you're a very corrupt country and you have very corrupt politicians and bankers and corporations. You can guarantee it's going to get a lot worse for those places. Some of those places understand that already, and they are trying to coalesce into these alternative parallel financial structures to counter the behavior of the American dollar, which is essentially now one of the most, if not the most powerful weapon on earth. We've got, laser weapons that can obliterate. Let me go over here. I'm really getting absolutely carried away now. Love Triber sent me a lot of stuff, material that I've looked at it. I haven't digested all of it, but let me just run through a couple of items for you. Let's see. One item is that we've got Donald is going to be having a meeting with Mr. Tucker Carlson at the same time as the presidential debates are happening. Ha 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 ha. Next, a lot of things that are happening on Earth today, especially with the fires, are beautifully illustrated on a Time magazine cover from 2 years ago. Interesting, huh? Another thing, it's being proven now and showing there's very, let's say, surreptitious content, visual live, real life content showing laser weapons and photon weapons that could, in theory, do horrific damage, just like it happens in warfare. Where you take one of these laser photon EMP type weapons and you do it from outer space with a satellite or something, and you can obliterate a whole town. Hint, hint. Lahaina, Hawaii, perhaps? Some people are suggesting radical, scary concepts like that. Next one we got, Google is banning, they're putting out a worldwide ban on independent media from search results. In other words, people like TarotLumination, Dr. Steve Turley, Mark Moss, Neil McCoy Ward, and thousands of other really noble, honest, caring people who are trying to propagate the truth. The poor British people are being ravaged by the World Economic Forum and their insane Agenda 2030 policies, especially concerning traffic and travel. I don't want to go into that too much right now. Another one, we've got the, what are they called? Anyway, it's another type of laser weapon. You can just literally switch it, and it's like a bomb. You can't really even see the laser beam, but when it hits the target, it's as if a small nuclear bomb just landed. Highly targeted, extremely powerful bomb. Actually much more effective than your traditional bomb from an airplane. Okay? Also, I watched a fairly long clip from a guy called Dr. Shiva for President 2024. He is an MIT professor, and he did an incredible job of describing the reality of the world today from the perspective of things that we talk about, or at least I talk about on this channel. Very, very disturbing stuff in terms of the globalists relative to the media conglomerates, the corporate conglomerates, and all the cartels who are incestually married to the politicians and the government and the banks, all in collusion to try and extract everything they possibly can from we the people, and to exert as much power and money and get as much control as possible. You know, that's just some of the stuff. There's so much more. Anyway, I don't want to get into trouble from reading on that too much. What? Okay, let me get back with the chat in a minute. Let me catch up here for a second. Doopy doop. Okay, hello Ivona. Hello Love Triber. Okay. BO1W. IO, can me and Justin work out? Pisces and Aquarius. Okay, that sounds like a little mini reading. Love Driver. BO1, what about relationship is worth saving if you're already not the first choice? Oh, I know what you're saying. I have a pretty long and tragic history with relationships. Some of them really good and sweet, but they seem to have shelf lives. I am actually single, unmarried, and no children. And I've had the opportunity to have many kids and be married many times over. But then I would be a bigamist, and I would probably end up being a very derelict father with unpayable child support and unpayable alimony. So it's better, frankly, it's better off that I'm the way I am right now. Okay? Let's have a look. But one of the things it's sort of what Love Triber was mentioning is that, like, let's say, okay, this might sound very painful, dear BO1. This might sound really painful. Nobody likes to be dumped, okay? So what can happen in the dynamics of a relationship without even knowing it's happening? The two parties are secretly wrestling to figure out who is the dumper and who is the dumpee. Nobody likes to be the dumpee, so people move around to be the dumper because it's so painful to be the dumpee, because that means you're rejected. That means they don't like you. That means you're inferior, you're useless, you're below average. You have unredeemable qualities that make you completely unworthy in relationship to the other person. That hurts, okay? That's called rejection. Ow! Nobody likes the rejection, and so they're constantly looking for ways to resolve and get back to the way things were so that they don't get rejected, or so that you can get back to the point where you can reject the other one so that you become the dumper and they are the dumpee. Ugh. But going back to Love Triber's point, like, why would you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? Okay. Think about it. All I'm saying is just think about it, because in a way it's absurd. It's completely absurd. People suffer so much because of these simple issues. I used to do a lot of private readings around these subjects, but I've moved on to different types of subjects. But anyway, thanks for pointing that out, Love Triber. Okay, Tina is here. Hello, Tina. Let me have a look here. Tia, what do you think about this? I'll buy a reading for me and one for whoever wants it or needs it or whoever. Okay, at the discretion of TarotLumination. That's very, very kind. Oh, like a mystery reading. Yes. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I accept. I can handle that. So that means we've already got. I don't know if you're gonna do it yet, but I'm up for it. Okay, that means I'm essentially booked for 2 readings already if Tina goes ahead. It's very kind of you, Tina. By the way, everybody who's watching, Tina has a tendency to be kind, to be generous, almost to a fault. It's okay. It's a wonderful fault to have. They will show up. They are, Tina, are they digging out? Let's have a look over here. I'm just catching up with the chat, everybody. Let's have a look. Photons. Okay. Loose plate thing for mystery reading. Is who digging out? Surveyors? Bugs? Illegal immigrants? The ground is too hard, rocky, etc. Oh, okay. Maybe I missed something in the chat. Hold on. I guess I missed something in the chat. I'm sorry, Tina. Alright, I'm going to go over here for a moment. Let's get over to the stage. Alright, so I'm going to put up... Let me wait for confirmation. I don't know if Tina's going to do it yet. We'll see. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you, Tina. That's perfect. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So let's do it like this. Okay, here's the magic post-it notes. One for Tina. And one for the mystery. Mystery person. We'll see how that goes. Thank you. Oh, the dogs. You're talking about the dogs. Who let the dogs out? Got it. Oh, God. I would guess that you, Tina, with you and your big dog, so you've got, was it Charlie, Ava, and I forgot the name of the third one. Charlie and Ava. Oh, wait a minute. Is it only two now? There was a recent tragedy, or several couple of recent tragedies, if I recall. Ava and Charlie, if I recall, they are big. And even if you've got a huge chunk of land there, Tina, or a huge place where you're going to be, or where you're camping right now, I don't think the dogs can help themselves. They love to be wild and free and jump fences and run around in the wild. Oh, God. Letting the dogs out just to piss you off. That's actually really dangerous. That's really, really irresponsible. Can you imagine how many bad things could happen to the dogs just because of someone's infantile behavior? That's terrible. 3 German Shepherds. Oh my God. I wish I was there, Tina. I could make a whole YouTube channel about Ava, Charlie, and Sasha. We could just film them all day. I'd probably have a rock star booming channel. I've thought about wacky things like having a Bubba channel. Just for fun. And here's another thing that I noticed. 2 acres are fenced. Okay, that's 2 acres. That's a big chunk of land. And they still want to jump out. Wow. Anyway. Here's something I've noticed. YouTube Shorts. I've been putting out a few shorts recently because I get so frustrated and I want to express myself, and I'm really, really struggling. You might have noticed I'm really, really struggling to maintain the channel. It's been a problem for a long time now. I'm not going to labor on that right now, but I am experimenting with ideas behind the scenes about what to do, how to do it. Maybe start a new channel, all that kind of stuff. I've got my Rumble, I've got TikTok, I've got my Rumble, I've got Twitter, and I have Truth Social. And they're all very valuable to me. Rumble doesn't really have much of an audience, but it's great for freedom of expression. I love it. It's solid. It's like a much simpler YouTube. I can even live stream there, but I have to get a whole ton of other software to do that. So I'm not ready. Not quite ready, but I've been playing around with doing some shorts. And I can take it anything from 15 seconds up to a whole minute. And it's been a lot of fun, and I'm going to probably do more because I can, just capture the moment. Bing, 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 bing. And what I'm noticing is they get a much higher view count than my regular videos. A lot of my videos are long or very long. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people want instantaneous gratification. They want to gorge, scroll, watch, scroll, swipe. And the whole culture of shorts on YouTube is getting really big because YouTube is trying to compete with, things like especially TikTok. I've been completely destroyed on TikTok. They wiped me out. It's similar to YouTube. They didn't like my views and my expressions, and I was very open about my personal feelings and views and opinions, and they threatened me quite a few times. In the end, they just said enough is enough. You are now completely banned from TikTok. We know who you are. Whatever email you've gone, I've only got 2 emails basically. And whatever you do, we can track it back. So don't even bother to try a new TikTok, because we're going to shut you down again. Okay? Anyway, I'm sort of used to that stuff now. But anyway, Charlie loves to pics. He poses. Charlie is, he likes the camera. That's good. Yeah. Elaine Tat. Good evening, Elaine Tat. Welcome to TarotLumination. This is our Sunday night little gathering. There's a few of us here. We've been here for years doing this every week now since 2017. It's about 6 years. It's amazing. We're still here. By now I should have 200, 300,000 subscribers, but sadly, no. Anyway, Elaine, thanks for dropping by. I just want to put it out there. This is like a live tarot reading show that we do here, and I mix it in with a bunch of astrology and things. And the way people get their readings is they go over here. They go to TarotLumination.com. They go to the donate page. They go to the donate button. Click the donate button. It opens up my PayPal, and you can swipe a card. Just scroll down and you can just swipe a card and donate, $20 or something, 10, 20, 30, whatever you want to, something reasonable. Anyway, I thought that I would mention that, Elaine. If I'm missing something, if you've been hanging out with us before, my memory is very fragile, as you know. But so what we do is eventually this will all be gone, and we'll pull out the tarot cards and we'll use the TarotLumination situational spread, which is basically diagnostics. In other words, what do we need to find out? Okay? Diagnostics are very, very important for life. That's how I look at it. Another way I say it is you've got to reveal it to heal it. You've got to reveal it to heal it. A lot of people end up at this channel or getting personal readings and so on because it's like in a random, circuitous, kind of unpredictable way. They end up here because things didn't work out with their therapist or their doctor or their psychiatrist or their medications for depression or loss or whatever. Or they're just very, very curious to expand their consciousness and greater self-awareness, and they just spontaneously, randomly end up here. And that's why the regulars are all here, because we enjoy each other's company. We are friends and allies and a community by choice. And it stretches all over the place. Most people in America, but we've got friends in New Zealand, Australia, I got one, India, Libya, Europe, Austria, Argentina. That's what I can remember right now. So yeah, Elaine is new. Welcome, Elaine. Interesting, you may be a candidate. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just pointing that out. Yeah. Alright, so let me go back over here. Doo, 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 doo. Yeah, so welcome, Elaine. You might want to just hang out if you want to stay around and you're curious, and we do a couple of readings or something before you, and if you think, wow, this could work for me, Elaine, then book a reading. That's it. Oh yeah, I see your notes there, Love Triber. Yeah. Okay, so Elaine, in case you missed it, you might want to check at the beginning of the video. I don't know if you can scroll back on a live stream. I've never tried it, but maybe you can. I usually try to do a quick catch up with the astrology from the week before to look at what's going on today and the way things might look over the next few days. And so I've already done that. I'm not going to go back into it again because it's already published and recorded and out there. But just as a heads up, I feel it's worthy to repeat a couple of things. Necessary truth is in the house, people. Thank you so much. Elaine, I'm just pointing out something. This is my format. I make an astro doodle. I know it looks insanely chaotic, but there is meaning here. There is deep value and meaning here. And we derive all that from this, which is the astrological ephemeris, which is exactly the same as the astronomical ephemeris that they use for sending rockets into space and monitoring the rotation of the planets in our solar system. So it's all pure physics and math. Okay? Nothing mysterious about any of that. Anyway, that's today's astrodoodle. And I do some notes for the whole world, and I concentrate a little bit on the United States because I'm an American citizen, and that's kind of my hometown. I've traveled a lot, Elaine. I've lived a lot of different places, Africa, South America, Europe, and now I'm in America. So there you go. Anyway, Elaine, what I was going to point out is this is for everybody. You might have missed it earlier. You see these gray marks here? That marks the retrograde path and rotation of the planet. And right now we have Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all retrograde right now. That's heavy-duty retrogrades. And to me, it's showing up on Earth as a lot of problems surfacing that need to be revealed for the healing. Here's where it gets a little tricky, because in a few days, Mercury's going to go retrograde, and everybody knows about that one. The potential chaos that can ensue with your cars, your communications, your phones, your emails. You got to be careful what you say, who you say it to, when you say it, why you say it, where you say it, and how you say it, especially with Mercury retrograde. On top of that, we've got Uranus going retrograde. So as much chaos as we're seeing on planet Earth with fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, and global finance, it's going to get even worse. But again, you got to reveal it to heal it. Dun, 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 dun. Epic background music. All right, so there you go. Yeah. Maria's here too. I believe, if I'm correct, my God, it's history. If I'm correct, Maria, you were the very, very first subscriber to the channel. Just as a bit of background to the channel, right now I've been doing some homework. I've managed to salvage. Remember, I used to have a constant contact bulk email service. And what I discovered is that I could import the emails. I've got about 380 email addresses from over the years. That sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot compared to what we've been doing here. But anyway, I've captured that, but I have no idea how to send a bulk email, so I'm trying to study that. The other thing I was going to mention about, oh God, it slipped my mind. What was it? Retrogrades. I was talking about retrogrades, Uranus retrograde, finances retrogrades. What the heck was it? See, I'm blaming it on the planets. I was just about to say something. Uranus retrograde. So, again, you got to reveal it to heal it. So with Uranus, do not be surprised if you see more and more chaos with all the things like fires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, droughts. What am I missing? All the big, scary stuff that happens on Earth. All of those things. And be aware of that. Some of it may not be as it seems at first, okay? Necessary truth. Saturn. Necessary. Let me go back here for a second. We've already had Saturn retrograde for a while, but what I was trying to illustrate to Elaine, because she's brand new, is that please be aware that going in when we get into September, it's going to be really, really crazy, because we're going to have Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all retrograde. Venus is going to go direct, which will be a little bit of relief. But so please be prepared to anticipate the law of unintended consequences, the law of unexpected consequences. That's going to prevail, especially in some of the big stuff with global politics, global finance. Okay? Just giving you a heads up. Okie dokie. Yeah, Maria, wow, that's 6 years now, Maria. Right now in my head, I'm missing Karen Clark over in New Zealand, and Gregory's not here right now. And there's a handful, sprinkling of others that we've all become friends. Again, it's a chosen community, and that's very, very different. And like one of the fellows I really like, his name is Dr. Steve Turley, and he was trying to explain, he's very like super smart academic brainiac type professor, doctorate, blah blah blah, and he's now a YouTuber, and he's very much on the conservative right-wing side of things, like sort of like I am. You know, I've talked about that. I get into trouble so much because of that, because I love this, I love our Constitution, and I'm glad that we declared independence, but all of that is in deep jeopardy right now. And there's about 75 million people in America who are waking up and realizing that we have to do something in order to salvage this beautiful thing that we have called America, okay? So anyway, yeah, it's 6 years, Maria. A lot has happened in that time, a lot of change, a lot of turmoil, a lot of turbulence, a lot of beautiful, amazing things. And it goes in waves and cycles. And I notice it with the planets, because I check them every day. More or less because I have to, because if I don't, I kind of end up as a victim. I don't like being a victim. By things, especially, I mean, I just don't like it. It's a creepy feeling, and so I have learned how to moderate and alternate my behavior and my expectations so that I reduce the chances of being a victim of anything, like random act of violence or financial assault or assault from the weather or whatever it might be, or verbal assault from somebody who disagrees with my opinions and my beliefs, things like that. So part of me feels like it's like a match, like I reserve the right to freely express myself. On the other hand, I have to be careful because sometimes when I freely express myself, I sometimes get a very rapid, let's say, return fire. So I just have to be careful. All right, let's have a look here. Let's see what's going on. Got to get back over here. Hold on, where am I? How fast? Yeah, I'm just checking on the chat there. Oh, okay, Hurricane Hillary. Yeah, what a name. Drowning under her influence. All right. So let's have a look over here. Sorry about this. This looks like a mess. I'm not going to explain it. You have to go back. And what was I saying? Oh, I was also talking about the shorts. I'm trying to learn this. Oh, look. Oh, come on, Bubba. Bubba wanted to say hello. I'm not sure if he's in the mood. Let's have a look. There's little Bubba. No, he's just hanging around. He has his own special... Bubba has his own special cup of water right next to me. And sometimes he has these quirky behaviors where it's just like, I need attention now. I want to hang out. I want to be cuddled. Or I need to be fed. Or he's very kind of alert. And every animal is different. They have their quirks and behaviors, okay? And Bubba is, he likes to be where the action is. So he's always like tracking, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Is this anything to do with me? Is there any food happening? Like, are we going to go do some adventure? Are you going to play? Are we going to cuddle? Are we going to take a nap? What's going on? What about special treats? I've already had regular lunch, but what about my treats? It kind of goes like that with Bubba, okay? Does he have his own markers? No, but maybe one day he'll have his own channel, Yeah. So, okay, all right. So, okay, I just want to reiterate about the chosen community. And I'm thinking back to a time very early on the channel when things were growing and growing and growing very, very quickly. To the point of like 13,000 subscribers, which was actually a pretty big deal. It happened pretty quickly, and that's how I used to earn my living. And that's not happening anymore. But what I learned was that it's like running a YouTube channel is just kind of weird. Okay, you have to understand there's so many parameters that you can't control, and you have to learn what they are, and you have to learn how to navigate and operate within the parameters of the platform. And the thing is that the parameters of the platform are constantly shifting and changing as Google YouTube shifts and changes its so-called algorithm, which is basically computer code designed to optimize all the content coming in to make it as suitable as possible for all the advertisers, so that Google and YouTube can get as much money as possible from their advertisers. And human behavior, attitudes, and perceptions change every day. And YouTube moderates its algorithm accordingly. A classic example, of course, is certain subjects that I'm really not allowed to talk about at all, to do with huge voting events in America. Also, there's something very recently with a very famous beer in America. I can't really talk about that. I don't really care about it anyway, but it's very controversial. And it stirred up a lot of froth, just like a shaken beer can that cracked open. Talk about the laws of unintended consequences. Things really, really backfired for Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser. And they're still dealing with the aftershocks today. And the big corporations are still dealing with the aftershocks. There's other things that's very dangerous to talk about. I know a few channels that are really good and very successful, and I trust them, and they talk about the subjects that I love to talk about, but they have been blessed by the YouTube Google algorithm. So they can talk much more freely than I can. And I'm very bitter about that. And I've had to accept and realize that I actually carry a tremendous amount of bitterness and resentment because of the, I would say, discrimination. I believe I deserve as much right and freedom to express as the other people do, as the others have. I don't know Bubba's birth sign. I really don't. All right, let's go over here. Okay, so right now, all right, I don't know if that person was here. There was an Elaine. Oh, wait a minute. Is Elaine still there? Elaine just randomly landed on the channel. Okay, well, that's good enough. Why not? It's just as valid a way to be here as any other way. You didn't have to search for anything. So let me go over. Oh, actually, I'm already here. What I need to do right now, I need to clear the stage so we can get to work because we got a couple of readings to do here. If anybody else needs a reading, you need to type it in on the chat and kind of like give me some alerts and let me know, and then I have to see it come through on the PayPal over here. Let me just tuck all this stuff away. We're going to reference, it's very likely that we will reference the Astrodoodle during the readings, but we'll see as we go along. I'm going to tuck those away. I'm going to tuck all this stuff over here. All right, so all right, I'm going to tuck this away. I'm going to tuck this away. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put this over here. I got room for one more reading tonight if anyone wants one. So just do the PayPal and all that stuff if you're interested. Cheers. All right, switching to water. Tina, if it's okay with you, I would love to just go blind. I know I think everyone here is aware of the frustration of the amount of time it's taking for you to break ground and get things rolling on your new home. But again, you have to remember that by many, many standards, it's statistically very, very rare for a single individual to, go on such a massive adventure as getting their own land and building their own home according to your own specifications, getting your own, all that kind of stuff. Plus, as far as I recall, you're still a fully functional nurse. And I think last week we had a reading where it was a little bit awkward because it was something to do with political, workplace politics. And we already dealt with that. So I'm not going to deal with that again. Let's just see what kind of messages do we have here for Tina tonight. Okay, I'll put that over here. Tina is now front and center. All right, here we go. cards were already shuffled, of course, in advance, but I like to do it live so that you're a witness. Of course, let's bless this deck. These beautiful, beautiful cards. Bless every card. Bless the whole deck. Bless the monitors, the computer, the microphones, the lights, the cameras, the internet, the YouTube and Google, the platform, the wires, the electricity, the power, all of that stuff that allows us to do what we do here, which is frankly miraculous, okay? Okay, dokie. All right, before I tuck in, I just want to do something very, very broad, okay, Tina? This is not for you. This is just for everybody. It's like a qualifier that I'm doing in advance. With the Astrodoodle today, I already talked about the North Node axis, North Node in Aries, reclaiming our sovereign selves, taking full responsibility, full ownership, take full custody of your banking, your finances, and examine your finances to figure out what is not working with the people that you've trusted, like your bankers, your investment managers, and things like that, or your job or your career, wherever you get money from, whoever you get money from. The other thing is that's been very prominent for quite a while, for months now, is the axis, is the Virgo Pisces axis, okay? Very much to do with health and healing. And so we've had a lot of issues over the last few months regarding health and healing. And it's been a very, very prominent subject. Very, very tragic, sick things happening. Death and disease just really amplified. Trying to figure out how and why. And then what do we do about it? You know, going forward. It's been a very prominent aspect, and it's still very prominent today. This is very prominent with finances. This is very prominent with, well, this is quite a fleeting thing. I'm not going to dwell on this too much. This will be here tomorrow. So it's very stabilizing, while we have some very, very challenging aspects here. So I just wanted to point that out very, very briefly, okay, Tina, before the reading. So the health aspect and the lack of health aspect is still a very, very dominant theme. And global chaos financially and geographically, to do with, you know, things like solar flares and the solar 11-year solar cycle, temperatures, all of that stuff. It's still very prominent, and it's going to continue to be prominent themes, okay? Anyway, what kind of messages do we have here for Tina tonight? Okay, let's have a look. A couple more, and we're there. All right. Elaine, if you're still here, if you're still watching, this is my situational spread. It sounds very neutral, but it's essentially a diagnostic tool, the way I do things here. It's a very simple spread, but it's very powerful and effective and revealing. Excuse me, I've got to put that over here. Sorry, my fingers are not performing properly. There we go. So, and the whole point of the situational spread is diagnostic. So what kind of story is going to unfold here? And then what are we going to do about it? Because you've got to reveal it. In other words, before the reading, there are things that we don't know. And then during and after the reading, we get a revealing. And then you can figure out, oh, okay, I kind of get it. I can see the relevance in my life. And then, well, what are we going to do now? Okay, that's it. What now? What now? What now? The power of now, living in the now. It's very, very important. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things. And let's, we're going to look at this energy here. I usually defer to the planets, but you never know. Let's have a look. So we have the Three of Cups here, Tina. My immediate impression with the Three of Cups is right now to do with the attitude of gratitude. And just a very, very gentle, friendly reminder about, in your own way, how incredibly lucky you are. And how I feel it's mutually beneficial, okay? You have been very, very kind and generous with me and the channel for years and years. You've gone through your ups and downs, and you're still here, in some ways stronger than ever. You've gone through an awful lot of, chapters. And the way I look at it, this is something to celebrate. Celebration between you and me and the whole community here. Tina, you probably remember going way, way back that I had these insane, delicious, crazy ambitions to have the TarotLumination retreat, especially located down here in beautiful New Zealand. It never really manifested. Who knows, maybe I'll become a crypto millionaire and I will start from scratch. But the whole idea was to create a physical manifestation of the TarotLumination online community, where there's enough, let's say, financial abundance in the community where people who really needed it could come and enjoy what amounts to a retreat. And I think one of the things that led me to having serious roadblocks in the channel is because I might have become over-obsessed with this idea, and I might have started tapping into becoming one of these megalomaniac, narcissistic, cult leader types. And I was accused of that, and that's how my channel got destroyed. And I've never forgotten that day. It was a death blow to me and the channel. And so I've had to live in a very kind of somber, muted way ever since then. But we still have the core essence, the little tiny core essence of our beautiful community. And I wanted to thank you, okay, Tina? It's really, truly something beautiful that we share. And I'm so honored that I can share it with you, and you share yourselves with us and the rest of the community. Because we all have an impact and influence on each other, always for the better. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay, coming back down to earth, this is a very nice background to have here. My feeling, this is very much to do with the moment. Let's seize the moment, live in the now, grab every benefit that's possible from this beautiful, big, fat, grand earth trine with the beautiful sextiles. Something to celebrate here. Might as well make the best of it, enjoy it as much as possible while you can, because it's very powerful, it's very harmonizing. But again, a lot of people take the good stuff for granted. We don't do that here. Here tonight, we are being made aware that this is a very powerful, beneficial, very harmonious energy. It needs to be celebrated and enjoyed. And it's being depicted on your watch, Tina, because you are the epitome of generosity, kindness. Getting back to you personally, it looks like, no surprise here, you're up to your neck in it, just dealing with everything that has to be dealt with on a day-to-day basis, just getting by from one day to the next. On the other hand, you're doing it. There's nothing here that's going to take you down. There's nothing that will undermine you. It's just simply the realization that, wow, my gosh, it's sort of like you have a larger than life by a lot of people's standards. I've always dreamed of having my own land, designing and building my own house, okay, and things like that. And you have something like that, and it's very big. So with a big life come big challenges. But you're dealing with it. This is very, very strong energy, and it makes me feel that the situation it's manageable, and you will continue to manage whatever challenges come your way on a day-to-day basis, whether it's like, something to do with a political flare-up at work, with in the coffee and the break room, or whether it's to do with your finances or the house or the contractors or whatever it is. Whatever challenges are out there, you are more than capable of handling it. It's just that it makes me feel that, number one, this is a reminder that you've got to continue to be strong, because these challenges are not going to go away anytime soon. And in fact, it might be an idea to remember that these wands, you could almost say those represent all the retrogrades that are here and the more that are coming. So you might want to say, let's just say, be prepared to expect the unexpected, okay? I'm not saying you're going to be ambushed. What I'm suggesting is that you've got to stay alert, clear, awake, very, very pure in the moment. And it's almost like, don't take things personally. Like if something really stressful happens, okay, just treat it as something that has to be dealt with. Financial thing, health thing, a scheduling thing, transportation thing, communicate, whatever it is. Just deal with it. Because you can and because you have to. What's the challenges here? King of Pentacles. Okay, in a very simple, pure term, you already have these qualities. Okay? This is even more powerful than the Queen of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the master of material, let's say, optimizing material energy. In other words, what to do with your money, your time, your energy, your resources, your skills, your knowledge, your goals, your plans, your everything, with your short-term finances and long-term finances especially. The King of Pentacles here, to me it indicates that you might be feeling, oh my God, I'm not up to my normal self, my normal, most awesome self in terms of managing my resources. Now I'm being very broad with resources here because the pentacles represent all material three-dimensional resources. The most valuable probably being time, then the amount of money you got available, the land, the water, the physicalities, the physical stuff that you're having to work with. Again, this lines up very, very strongly with that big fat green trine, the big grand trine right now, and the big kite. So you may be going through episodes of doubt. Okay? It's just like, oh my God. It's true. If you're really honest about it, Tina, you have been bestowed with really valuable natural gifts, natural resources, and circumstances and opportunities. But every now and again, sometimes, like even the King of Pentacles can, go to bed at night thinking, holy jeez, how am I supposed to keep all this together? Because no one else wants to do it. That's one of the things about King of Pentacles. Someone's got to do it. A lot of people do not want to take charge of their financial responsibilities, their worldly, tangible assets and resources. That's why a lot of people deliberately downsize their lives and expectations so they don't have to carry such an incredibly big responsibility. Esther! Yes, you missed another reading. No, you didn't. We're actually on the first one, okay, Esther? All right. Now, let's have a look here. So how are we going to handle this? It's a bit of disparity. To me, I would say this is all good news in its own way. It's just that it has to be acknowledged and presented in such a way so that you don't scare yourself any more than you have to be. And when you look in the mirror at night and think like, oh my God, is my life falling apart? It's not, okay? You're dealing with it. And if you're having moments of anxiety like, oh my God, how am I going to keep it all together? You still got the King of Pentacles at your core. So don't ever doubt that, even though you might have severe doubts now and again, okay? No, you didn't miss nothing. Right now we have bookings for 2 people. We've got reading for Tina. We have a reading for a mystery person. That's what we have booked so far tonight. We already did a lot of work with the Astrodoodle and my general chitter-chatter. All right, let's see. Let's see what moving forward, what this look like. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so this Hangman, I believe, is very much to do with the retrogrades. So it's probably the last card you'd want to see. But the reality is that it's much better you know this now and you see this and sense this in advance, so that you don't set yourself up with expectations in the near term that can't possibly manifest. Instead, you go back to the TarotLumination early part of the video and remind yourself that, oh my God, we're going to go through a massive SHIT storm of retrogrades, at least for the rest of September. And October is going to be pretty bumpy too. And that might slow everything down. Again, you got everything that can come apart, fall apart, will fall apart. Politically, economically, financially, globally, with tectonic plates, people's businesses, whatever it is. Those retrogrades are going to be putting so much pressure. You will see it happen in the American political theater. Okay, so going forward, Tina, in a way, this is kind of encouraging because the Hangman is here. It's telling you, like, be prepared in advance, Tina, to set back expectations of the results that you would love to have in your life right now, that you would normally be able to achieve through your natural means, understanding that you are a little bit anxious, understandably so, and that going forward, the worst thing you could do is try to force any kind of outcomes excuse me, or conclusions in the face of all these retrogrades, because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to waste huge amounts of energy on something that will eventually backfire. So the best thing to do is kind of ride your way through it, not take any of the frustrations personally. In other words, deliberately allowing yourself to be disoriented, derailed, distracted, disconnected from your preferred path of advancement in life with your immediate ambitions and goals and destiny right now. And understand that the worst thing you could do is force all of that stuff. Instead, it would be the best thing to... Here's another way to do it. Okay, Tina, here's an analogy. I have been in a lot of car crashes when I was young. I was a speed freak. I liked cars. I liked motorcycles. I know a lot about what happens in accidents. Typical stories like, oh, I just smashed into a wall or another car, or somebody smashed into me or something, and everything kind of goes into slow motion as your body is thrown through the wreckage across the roads and into the streets, and so on and so on. And so the analogy I'm trying to make with the Hangman is to allow yourself to float freely. Let me go back to the car crash analogy. If you've ever been driving on black ice or thick snow or really slimy, messy surfaces or twisty roads and you lost traction, you lost control of your steering, and if things feel very frightening and very dangerous very, very instantaneously. So what a lot of people, of course, do is they slam on the brakes, or they hold on really tight to the steering wheel trying to keep themselves going the direction where they want to go, and things just get worse and worse and worse. What can happen is, it sounds contrarian, but one of the best ways that you can recover a very dangerous skid slide situation if you're in a car that's lost steerage is that you let go of the steering wheel deliberately. Instead of holding tight, you actually let go. And the car will naturally gravitate itself to the most stable position that it can find, according to the road surfaces and the angle and the direction and the speed and so on. And then you wait intuitively for that moment, and then you can hold the steering wheel, and with any luck, doesn't always happen, you can avert the danger or the accident, and you just have a sort of, and then you're okay again. And then you just recenter and readjust accordingly. So that's what I'm sensing here with the Hanged Man. It's almost like the worst thing you could do is hold on tight to an expected direction outcome. And instead, okay, just free fall, free float, free dive, whatever it's called, like whoosh. Oh. Turn your expectations and behavior and attitudes completely upside down and let go. Jesus' name. Let go and let God. What's that expression? Let go and let God. Understand that you're already guided and protected, but maybe do an invocation and just basically say, you know what? I'm just going to release myself from my expectations. I'm going to let go and let God open up new opportunities, pathways, and directions for me. Whatever I need to know, I will need to know it. Whatever is mine is coming to me. Whatever is not mine is moving away. It's great. I'm just going to go with the flow. Okay? I'm free falling. Oh, I love that song, Esther. That's Tom Petty. I'm going to do that on my new karaoke. Thank you so much, Esther. Oh, I remember years ago I did free falling karaoke live in Santa Monica on the beach. And I had my audience riveted. They loved it. Of course, I don't look like Tom Petty, but it was a pretty damn good karaoke night. All right, Tina, thank you very much. So there's your mini reading, Tina. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to play my song. I am going to play my wonderful new song. It's my Second Amendment song. I'm very proud of this. It's a very funky, let's say, homemade, rustic Americana type of feel. But it's still a good song. It doesn't have all the glossy polish that a lot of songs have. But still, it is worthy and deserving. So I am going to play it for you while I shuffle up and get ready for the mystery reading. I just have to find the song somewhere on my computer. I know it's here. Maybe it's in there. No, my God, no. What am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? Let me go back over here. To a song there. Okay, I found it. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm calling this my 2A song. It's from TarotLumination. Okay. It's pretty rough, but I hope you get something out of it. Hey, Steffi. When will I stop being censored? All I'm doing is speaking the truth. Instead, I'm labeled as a domestic terrorist extremist with a short fuse. The fake news just lies and suppresses. The Marxists are writing the scripts. The unaware man masses get led to their slaughter while patriots try to resist. Oh, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. Yes, we still have our sweet Constitution, but it's severely being abused. Our only solution is a new revolution to take back what belongs to you and me. I'm sick of the perverts and pedos trying to normalize child sacrifice. They revel in evil and their satanic rituals packaged in their delicious lies. No, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. It all began way back on 4th of July in 1776. The founders and fighters gave their lives for our freedom. I don't want to live through that again. You see, I'm recalling a past life from that exact time. I shed blood to shake off the chains of the tyrants and despots who owned us like cattle. But if I have to, I'll fight them again. No, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. No, you can't take us down and you can't shut us up. We got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, we've still got the second. We won't go down without a fight. Yay. There, I hope you liked it. Yay. Okay, I'm calling this my 2. Okay, done. Enough. Shut up to y'all. Alright, I'll put that aside. Personally, I think it should be a worldwide #1 hit. But, you know. Hey, Steffi. Hey, Steffi. Are you new? Have you ever been here before? Let me just check in with Elaine. Is Elaine still here? Elaine, are you still here? Check in, type in the screen. I know the chat is very delayed sometimes, but if you're still here, I have something that might be interested in. Think about it. What I'd like to do, if you don't mind, give me a second. I need a little top up, a refill. Actually, I got water. I'll be okay. 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 Elaine. I think Elaine disappeared. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe the readings were too scary. Maybe the astrology spooked her. I don't know. I think Love Triber and myself, we scared away the other young lady who was asking about her relationship. Understandable. We probably hit on some awkward truths. Oh, you have been here. Yes, you have regular. Oh, thank you. It's a bit like Bobby D. Is that referring to my song? Is Bobby D? I don't know Bobby D. Is he a country singer or something? Or I don't know. But I'm going to take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. So, let's have a look. Necessary Truth. Oh, we have another booking for another reading. Hold on. Let's put that over here. Let's bring out the magic post-it notes. Okay. All right, here we go. We have a reading booked for Necessary Truth. Let's get this out here. Okay, so there you are, Necessary. There's your magic post-it note. We'll come to you in a minute. Right now, looks like Elaine is gone. All right. Bobby D. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Bobby D. Like, oh wow. I am flattered. Woo! Wow. Seriously, thank you. Guess what, Steph? Flattery gets you everywhere. At least right now. You, Stephanie, I don't know what happened to Elaine, but you are now the lucky recipient of the mystery person reading. You can thank Tina Miller. I am just awarding that to you randomly because I can, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. So, Steffi. Yeah, okay. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do this. Steffi, you are now officially the mystery person. Here, all you have to do is just show up and you got it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. S-T-E-P-H-E-Y. Steffi. Talk about timing. I was actually going to offer it to Elaine, but she disappeared. Steffi, yes, you can thank Tina because Tina did a pay it forward. Tina, who was here earlier, she booked a reading and then she donated a reading for a mystery person to be determined. Well, it's now determined. There is your magic post-it note, okay? It's captured here in social media for all time. Thank you, Steffi. You can't take it back now. Yeah, you better hold on to your seat, Steffi. OMG. Got to shuffle up. Okay, give me a couple of seconds here. I need to shuffle. And then we are going to... Okay, here we go.
All I wanna
There you go. Okay, let's shut up. All right, here we go. Looks like I'm sir. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could squeeze one in. Sure, let's do it. So I got a reading for Steffi, then Necessary Truth, and then Esther. But that's it, no more after that, okay? So I will check, I'll go check, let's do Steffi's reading, then I'll check, okay? And it should be there. So you already know the routine, Esther. I think you've done readings here before. I'm pretty sure you have. Anyway, thank you for asking. But after that, that's going to be the book. I can't take any more. Of course, I can do readings during the week. I'm very happy to do that. Anyway, let's get on with it. All right, Steffi, mystery person, you are now going to get your mini reading. Dancing and the dishes. Cards are well shuffled. I don't know why I'm shuffling anymore. They're already in excellent condition. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's have a look here. Oops, sorry. Got to be so careful. Okay. All right, we're going to do a blind reading, Steffi. Don't even bother to write in any comments. Whatever you need to know will come to you. Okay, so what messages do we have here tonight for Steffi? I'm going to cut it again if you don't. Actually, I'm going to shuffle and cut again, because I got a kind of a psychic glitch just then. All right, that's good. Right there is good. All right, situational spread for Steffi. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things, all right? Let's have a look. External influences. I often default to the planets, as you know. Let's have a look. So we got the Seven of Pentacles. So Steffi, my feeling is that you're not aware of this. My feeling is that that's why this is appearing. If you think of the Pentacles as physical, material reality, your three-dimensional existence, okay? And we're covering it from close-up. Okay, I'm going to indulge here a little bit, Steffi. We're doing a close-up here. I don't know where you are living on Earth right now, if you're in England or America or something. But let's just say you're over there in Wyoming. We're doing a close-up, but we're also going to do broad spectrum, okay, from the heavens, simultaneously without you even knowing it. What I'm suggesting, what I'm feeling here with the Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, is that it's very important to know right now, however much you might feel that you've got your life together, organized, things are just sort of the way they should be. Let's say, for example, okay, let's just say you have a way of living. You have a certain order, certain protocols, certain habits, tendencies, and everything is done by the book. Whatever it is, your finances, your relationships, job, career, health, money, family, whatever that might be. There are certain orders and patterns which have stood the test of time and really don't have any apparent reason for being disrupted or examined. What I'm sensing is that with the Seven of Pentacles, it's good to know this in advance. With all these retrogrades coming, you might get a kind of a shake-up where everything that you've known that could correlate to stability might be exposed as having some fragility. Okay? Where it's just like, oh my God, I'm acting now. Remember, I was 20 years in Hollywood, so I have a little bit of the actor in me. But anyway, what I'm sensing is like, you wake up and realize like, oh my God, I never knew that about my finances. What the, oh my God, I got to take care of this. And then the next thing is like, wait a minute, I never knew that about how, things worked with the place where I'm living. I didn't know I was supposed to do electrical repairs or some kind of maintenance on the yard or whatever it might be. Oh man, it could be anything. It could be the workplace. It could be your health, your finances, travel, car, anything. But there's a massive wall of retrogrades. Pretty much everything in your three-dimensional life has the potential, let's actually call it, let's call it risk, but an opportunity for everything that's not working to be exposed. Now that might sound very scary, but that's actually a really good thing, because if you continue to live without diagnosing and understanding what's not working, then you end up in a lot more trouble later on, okay? So that's what I'm sensing here, general surrounding atmosphere. And the thing is, all the issues that I'm talking about, like you put it well there, stability versus fragility. You're going to discover the things that have stood the test of time and always will, and that you cherish very deeply. However, a lot of them have been, let's say, either neglected or corrupted or denied or, let's say, degraded without your knowledge or awareness in ways that are not malicious. It's just, wear and tear over time. And this needs to be discovered. It needs to be revealed so that it can be healed. So this is a good thing. All right, let's have a look at the situation. Okay, so to me it makes me feel like you're a very lucky person in your own way. Attitude of gratitude. You have certain things in life on which you can lean, whatever that might be. Maybe you've got good genes, good genetics, good family, good community, a good job, a good health, or good finances, and a combination of, let's say, 7 good, highly desirable, very valuable ingredients that everybody universally would agree, when you add them all up together, would equal happiness. So to me, this is a reminder to, again, show this to you, Steffi. Remember how incredibly lucky you are in your own way. Now, I don't know what that is in detail, but you would know. I'm talking about the attitude of gratitude. It might take a moment, and you might want to take a moment and list all the things for which you are truly grateful, because I guarantee there's at least 2 billion people out there right now who would love to be you. Okay? I'm talking about all the 2 billion people here who have nothing. Their lives are pure SHIT. That's all they came from, and that's all they ever will be, and that's how they will die. It is sheer misery, and that's just a statistic. And that's not you. Now, what's the challenges here? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm looking at destiny. Okay, so here's now this you might not like. What I'm seeing here with the 3 of Wands is that you might have some kind of sense of security, stability in your life, and you are aware that maybe by global standards you are happy and you are lucky, you are blessed, you are wealthy, you're worthy, deserving, willing, open to receive the goodness, you're ready, willing, and able to share, you're able to receive and to transmit. You are a good transceiver in your own way. However, you might feel that with the 3 of Wands here, it's just like well, what do I do now? Where is this all going? What is my destiny? What does my future look like? What is my career? What is my calling in this world? In other words, a lot of this might have been taken for granted without you even being aware of your own good fortune. And then you're realizing, oh my God, I really am extremely fortunate. And then the big question is like, whoa, wait a minute, what do I do with that now? Because I am a custodian. I am officially a custodian and an owner of one of the most valuable things that exists, which is stability, happiness. And you might be realizing like, wow, there's a lot of fragility in my stability. That's your own phrase, okay? I'm just throwing it back at you. And which would make you question like, oh my God, what does my future look like now? Well, with all the retrogrades, you're going to find out, because it's going to shake up and rattle everything in your world and pull everything apart that you might have just taken for granted without even knowing it. And that's going to happen to everybody to some extent, but in this particular mini reading, we're calling it out specifically for you. So that could be that you might feel a little bit unnerved, like, oh my God. Oh, like some people don't like the idea that they're being woken up, like they are awake, they are waking up. So how are we going to deal with this going forward? Let's have a look. Good point there, Love Triber. With all that Virgo, Mars energy, Mars in Virgo and Mercury in Virgo, yes, really, really pay attention to the details. Because what do they say? The devil is in the details. And it might be very, very hard to discern anything and everything that's not working here that would constitute the fragility that we're talking about. All right, let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay, again, be very, very careful. Like Love Tribe was saying, pay attention to details, but also going forward, it's like weighing one thing against the other. In the background, there is a lot of, let's say, instability. That's the fragility. And we're over the next, I would say literally the next 3 months, it's very, very important to step very, very carefully through your life, chapter by chapter, rather than living on what would otherwise be a very, very envious autopilot type of existence where you already have certain good things already, you know? And so going forward, pay attention to details, but sort everything out one step at a time. In other words, let's go back to the analogy of these 7 pentacles here. Let's say you can divide your life up into 7 core themes or ingredients that are very, very important, that are the hallmark of your life and your existence. And over the next few months with these retrogrades, you're going to have the chance to examine every single one of these 7 themes and figure out in great detail what is not working. And when you know what is not working, then you meticulously figure out how are we going to fix that so that you can reclaim those 7 pentacles into their full glory, so that you can amplify the sun energy here back to its normal radiance. No one else can do that. Only you can do that, Steffi. But you do it one step at a time, okay? Deal with all of these. Take 7 categories or themes, examine each one, and work through it in detail before you move on to the next one. Priority. Prioritize. Necessary truth, put it. That's a good way to put it. 7 dimensions of wellness. Excellent. Love Driver says, measure twice, cut once. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this makes sense to you, Steffi. You will know You know, I can only talk about, you know, atmospheric type of impressions here, but you're the one living your life, and with any luck, this reading will resonate with you in terms of the exact details that need to be dealt with, okay? Thank you so much, Steffi. Thank you so much, Tina, for granting this free reading here. Okay. Next up is Necessary Truth. Got your reading here. I'm going to have to shuffle again. Just got to check a couple of things here. Give me a second, folks. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just doing background homework, housekeeping, okay? Okay, well, you know what, Esther? You're going to get your reading for sure. You're very kind. You're very generous. So, what I'm going to do, necessary, I'm going to give you a little bit more of your average. We'll see. Anyway, let me sort myself out here. Hold on. I'm going to put up a magic post-it note for Esther. Okay, so that's the last reading we're going to do tonight. We're going to read for Necessary Truth, and we're going to read for Esther Marsalek. Now, Esther, I have a suggestion before we even get to you. This is obviously going to be substantial, so what I'd like to do is like a preliminary here tonight, just like we do. But I'd like to do a backup follow-up with you during the week, if that's okay. It'll be just one-on-one. And we can dive a little bit deeper, and I can open up the tarot, the cards and the spreads in ways that I don't really do here on the show. So I just thought I'd put that out there for you. Meantime, we're going to shuffle up, folks. We're going to shuffle up, okay? Let me see what I got here. I did it. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, let me just see the notes here. Okay, I just got back. I'm settling back in. Cards are shuffled. I'm going to do another last moment shuffle. I had to get a top up on my tea. All right, let me just finish the shuffle here, and I'm gonna go check some notes. I'll be right back. Now they're already well shuffled. I'd like to go to the point where I feel like real, like it's pristine. Let me have a look here. I didn't miss anything. No, okay, we're good. Give me a moment. Give me another few moments. All right. All right, let's have a look. Now, okay, we're shuffled, ready for necessary truth. I just need to check in with everybody. I just see a load of chat just to remind me. So Steffi, it totally does. I guess that means it makes sense. Thank you, Steffi. Thank you, Tina. Okay, Esther. Okay, so Esther, you like my idea? I'm okay with that. You're very kind. You're very generous. You might as well get what you deserve accordingly. Thank you. Necessary truth is saying, hey, ATL, Chris and John know what I'm asking about. Okay, so you're looking for advice, guidance, watch outs for event at the end of the month. Okay, no problem. We can do that. Chris wants to come in. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's always fun when Chris and John come in. Oh, good, Steffi. Thank you. Thank you again. All right, so we've got to be careful here. Let's see. All right, so we're going to do a reading now for necessary truth. We're going to do, after that, a reading for Esther, and then I'm going to work with Esther as well during the week. Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. Oh gosh. Excuse me. Went down the wrong way. Just a little bit. All right. All right. Damn. Sorry about that. I don't have editors, so this is not a pre-recorded show. So you're getting TarotLumination live, including hacking, choking because something went down the wrong way. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, I just need a couple more moments. Beautiful. I love it when the cards are absolutely pristine like new. All right, let's have a look. So what kind of messages do we have here? Thank you, John. Thank you, Chris. Chris definitely wants to chime in regarding an event at the end of the month. Okay, let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's look at the external influences. Very, very strong right now, whatever they are. So we have the Seven of Wands here. To me, this indicates that it's actually it's a good idea that you did get a little mini reading about this, because it's like it gives you a chance to prepare in advance. We don't have to know the nature of the meeting or anything like that, or the event or whatever it might be. And it has the potential to be, I would say, demanding, where you may be perhaps like under a lot of pressure to shine, or you may feel like you have to shine under pressure. Okay? And there might be doubts of whether that's possible. Now, when I look at the astrology, we're at this very moment in time. I'm not talking about the astrology for the event. I don't have to. This big, fat, grand Earth trine here is very stabilizing for everybody, depending on where it lies in your chart. It's amplified by this beautiful sextile here, double sextile with Neptune, that creates a kite. It isn't just a grand trine, it's a full-on kite. Now, inevitably with every kite, there is always a massive, powerful, direct opposition. So we're dealing with relationship dynamics. That is the energy of you and others and you. It could be plural, could be singular, whatever it is. Very, very stark energy. In terms of the opposition like that, there's nowhere to hide. Okay, so in this event, I'm not saying you're going to be under a spotlight. It might be more like it's you're going to have to be very dialed in to your, let's say, what's the word? It's to me it feels like it's important to prepare in some way. Like understand what are the possible banana peels that you may encounter. Okay, let's put it that way. I don't know how else to put it. Okay, let's just say at this event, just like at any event, it could be fun, it could be exciting, it could be scary, it could be nerve-wracking. But what I'm sensing here with the Seven of Wands is that there are, metaphorically speaking, banana peels all over the place. They may not affect you, they may affect you, but it means you have to be aware that they could be there anywhere. And in other words, you cannot go to this event on autopilot. My feeling is that you have to go through some kind of, I don't know, psychic preparation, some kind of homework, some type of research, whatever it takes to prepare in advance, okay? Now let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Situation is that with the star card here, is that you may not actually wish this upon yourself, but it might be that other people in the relationship dynamic, either wittingly or unwittingly or automatically, assume that you have the strength and the ability to sort of lead, as they say, carry the water, because someone's got to do it, to symbolize hope, potential opportunity, when there may be no evidence of a certain expected good, hopefully good outcome. And so you might be under a little bit of a spotlight here. It might be unwelcome, an unwelcome spotlight where you could be okay, I'm going to go back to this thing again here. Okay, you see this opposition here? This is different. This is a square. This is a 90 degree. This is a 180 degree. The way I drew it, you can't really see it. The 90 degree would be more like this. But anyway, this is a pure 180 here. So in other words, you're going to be very visible to others, and certain others are going to be very visible to you. So you might stand out in a crowd, or you might be holding a position where you may have to speak, you may have to hold your ground at an event, or you may be called out in some way where you might reluctantly have to be the symbol of hope for others and take a sort of a leadership position, perhaps reluctantly. Let's have a look. Okay, necessary. I'm just going to let you know. I'm very aware that Chris and John are here, but for some reason they are holding a little bit off to the side. Okay? They're kind of letting me run with things, okay? All right, now let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Okay, it makes me feel like in some ways you don't really want to do this. Like you wish you didn't have to. Like in some ways, like been here before, done it, or before I've been here, done that. You know, and it would be so much more fun in life to just, you know, not have to deal with any of this at all. And yet, here we are. So with these massive wall of retrogrades, you might be getting drawn into something where you don't, in ideal terms, you don't really want to be there, but you know you have to do it because makes me feel like there's quite a lot at stake in some way, form, or another, where you're kind of like a pivotal character in some ways. Maybe there's a lot of expectation being laid at your feet. Maybe there is a certain like political what's the other word? Political, ceremonial type of feel to things that are, they don't quite jive with you in some way, but again, you have to go through with it for the sake of the community, whatever that might be. If there are other people at this event, typically at an event, that means there's a bunch of people. Okay, so yeah, it makes me feel as though like I wish I didn't have to do this, but I know I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be okay. You kind of already know what to do, how to do it, how to, you know, how to be the best version of necessary truth to do this, and yet still it makes me feel there's a certain reluctance. So how do you carry yourself forward anyway, and like live up to the full integrity of yourself that is going to be required to carry yourself through this event? How are we going to do that? Okay. Treat it as a learning experience, as a growing experience, where you already know going in that you're going to be challenged. And by choosing to go to the event, you know you are throwing yourself in the ring, okay? It's not the end of the world. No one's out there to destroy you or discredit you or undermine you, humiliate or degrade or anything like that. However, you might face, you know, with that opposition energy, you might face some direct one-on-one energy which could be a little bit jarring for you. So let me just move on here quickly. I just want to get over to here. So with the Five of Pentacles, what I'm sensing here is that please don't take this personally. Like, however uncomfortable things might become at the event, and if you are under a spotlight or there's expectations on your back, on your head from others at you, let's say there's there's people out there and they have certain expectations of you. You know, like the way a lot of these American politicians right now are going on these campaign trails. There's people in an event. They're sitting in a crowd or something on it, and then there's the other person at the event. You might be a certain guest or speaker or a participant at the event where for a certain moment all eyes are on you and they want to know, well, who are you? What do you got? What are you going to say? Whatever it is. And that can be unnerving. But with the Five of Wands there, instead of taking it personally, like, oh God, I'm going to get, oh, I don't want to, it's like, you know what? I'm going to treat this as a learning experience, as a growth experience, where I am going to be challenged, and I'm going to rise to the challenge, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to be stronger because of this. And the important thing is that you have to make this commitment and determination to yourself before the event. You have to commit to being your authentic self, knowing that, to me it feels like people are going to be looking up to you for hope, for expectations, to deliver or something like that. And it's a lot of pressure. And here's another way I'm thinking of it. If there's no way to prepare for the event in advance by releasing information in advance, then you're going to have to wing it and be strong in advance, okay? So, like, if there was a way to, let's say, preempt the event in some way, where you could, like, let others know that we got to keep the expectations within the bounds of reality, okay? In other words, pretend I'm you and I'm at the event and people are looking at me and they have certain expectations. My feeling with all these retrogrades, it would be very, very important at the onset to let people know that it's important to keep expectations within the bounds of reality. And no miracle cures are allowed, no spectacular outcomes, no overly, let's say, optimistic messages. That's not appropriate. It's very important to stay deep within the bounds of reality and to expect the unexpected, okay, as you go through this, okay? So, let me go back over here. In other words, you're going to have to be strong because it might feel almost like as if you're in a ring and there you are surrounded by adversaries who, if you take it personally, you might feel like everyone's against you, but they're not. Everybody wants a good outcome from this event, you and everyone else. Okay? Thank you, Necessary. I hope that helps you. We're going to shuffle up now, and we're going to move on to a mini reading for Esther. Okay? Chris, John, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Dear Necessary Truth, just as a background to your reading, I felt all the way through that Chris and John were here, but very much to the back and to the side in a very kind of somber frame of mind. Both very kind of neutral, very somber, as though they were saying, you know what, just let TL run with it. Just let him run with it. That'll be fine. And that's what happened. And there was no interruption. There wasn't any... there was no pranking. There were no serious overtones or just sort of suggestions or anything. It was very, very neutral, okay? Okay, all right. So let's move on. Thank you, Necessary Truth. Esther, you're up. We're going to do another shuffle. Over here. shuffle up, folks. All right, Esther, you're up. Here we go. Cheers, my dear. All right, let's do blind, if you don't mind. Cards are well shuffled. Here we go. We're diving in, folks. Diving into the mysteries of the unknown, as revealed by the tarot. The magical mysteries of the tarot. The bizarre and beautiful world of astrology. Yay. All right, Esther, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. And here's how we're going to handle things. I'm just having a flashback, Esther, before I get into it. I remember, I think it was maybe the first reading we ever did here. I can't remember when. It was some time ago. And I remember the words, I think it was you with this reading. And we had a reading where the theme of a life well lived came up. A life well lived. You know? Like for some people, it doesn't take a lot to be happy. Their happiness comes from the inside. It's like a nuclear power plant, deep, deep inside. It doesn't matter what happens on the outside. Death, devastation, loss, failure, success, rejection, illness, whatever it is, there's a core. There's a deep, 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 powerful core that is indestructible. All right, let's have a look. We've got the Justice card here. So, my first impression, Esther, is that whatever's going on with you in your life, in your world right now, everything is exactly as it should be. How is that so? Why is that so? Well, it's really actually very simple. It's because it can't be any other way. Now, if you follow politics, global finance, and things like that the way I do, you would know that I have mixed views about what's out there. There's a lot of what appears to be the status quo of life in the world and everything and how it works. And a lot of people are discovering that it's actually 120 years of conditioning in the form of a very powerful, very effective mirage, illusion, delusion that is designed to, let's say, betray and undermine people across the world for the benefit of certain elites. In other words, it's all, and then there's others at the other far end of the spectrum. There is a certain type of core happiness where it doesn't matter how evil and nefarious the elites become in the search for ever more power, money, and control in their life and their world. People can still choose to be their pure autonomous selves and live with the consequences. In other words, things like freedom, truth, harmony, love are more important than the illusion of what life appears to be, according to the conditioning, the way the elites want things to be for us and for everybody. And so what happens is, the point I'm trying to get to here is that everything that is beautiful about this life and this world is very powerful. It's very, very beautiful. And of course, a lot of the times we take it for granted because it's just there. Like the sky, or, a stream full of clean water, or seeing, like just now, Love Triber was telling me about how a little hummingbird just flew up to her in the window. It was sort of tapping on this, looking, hello. What a beautiful thing, huh? It's just so powerful and so beautiful. And that is happening at the same time. Animals are born and they're dying. Millions of people in China are dying, their lives destroyed. The little tiny country of Slovenia in Eastern Europe, just today, over here, anyway, it's a tiny little place over here. One of their towns just got completely destroyed by massive flooding. It's beautiful and it's tragic at the same time. And it always balances out. The earth is just being what it is. Human people are just being what they are. Some people are the embodiment of evil. And evil people like to hang out with evil people. Loving people like to hang out with loving people. And there's everything in between. It's all swirling around simultaneously. And sometimes it's very hard to accept that and live with that. Some people want to force a certain perspective on others. And other people want to force a certain perspective on us. And it's a constant back and forth thing. And in the end, if you're lucky, like I'm lucky because I consider myself a free person. I have my limitations. I have my parameters within which I have to live. But by many standards, I'm very, very free. I'm a very, very free person. And what I'm sensing here for you, Esther, is that the Justice card is very powerful right now, in that you're in a position in life where you can see the horrors of life on this planet. You've seen it all, okay? And at the same time, you have experienced and have witnessed and shared and enjoyed the most beautiful things that any human being can. And that is absolutely perfect. Look at it this way. I'm just going to do this. I like to track the behavior of the sun, for example, or the planets or something right now. One of the things that happens in our solar system is that our sun has a cycle, roughly every 11 years, and it has an impact on our, what we call weather. Right now we are peaking right up to here, and then it's going to crash, okay? That's the 11-year cycle. There are lots of other cycles in the life of the sun. And those are perfectly natural. And how do you interpret that? That's your personal opinion. But it's all happening simultaneously. So back to planet Earth, for some people, They have no clue what's going on out there. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to make sure. Can somebody order the pizza tonight? I did it last night. Or, oh my God, this jar of mayonnaise. I paid $2 for it 3 months ago. Now it's $2.70. What's going on? Why is the gasoline so expensive? And then they just carry on with life. And that's where it stops. But for you, Esther, my feeling is that you've seen the best and you've seen the worst. And that's all part of life on this planet. Like volcanoes, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes, droughts, and flooding. They're all happening now simultaneously. There's also a lot of beauty and peace and tranquility simultaneously. But what the news focuses on, what we see, is the scary stuff. And the scary stuff is just as valid and perfect and beautiful as the beautiful stuff. It is what it is. The earth is just doing what it does. It's regurgitating, it's belching, it's farting, it's vomiting. It's got diarrhea. It's got splendor. It's just spectacular. All simultaneously. And you've got a little miniature version of that going on in your life. Everything is exactly as it should be. All the good and all the bad. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Oh my gosh, look at that. The star card again in that position. And my feeling is that the show is not over, and that it's almost like you're going to have to rise up even more than ever before, and somehow or other, like rekindle, recalibrate yourself to be a shining light for the community more than ever before. Like however much you might have lived so far in your life, what I call a life well lived, there's still a trajectory going forward where this is kind of like an Aquarian theme here, where it's not about what's good for you. How much can I get? He who gets the most when he dies wins type of thing. It's not about that at all. It's like, how much money do I have? How many houses do I have? How cool is my car? It's not about that at all here. With the star energy, it's about like how much light can I bring to this world? How much light and love can I bring to this world? And then realizing, my God, I've already done all that. And then realizing, oh my God, the show's not over. I still have more to do. Holy jeez, someone's got to do it. Oh my God, and TL, you're telling me that I've got to do it? I have to be the light bearer? Oh man, it's just like, Jesus, I thought I'd already done that. Why can't I just chill? Why can't I just hang out and enjoy tarot readings with everybody else? And you're telling me now I have to be a light bearer more than ever before. Ooh. Oh well. Let's have a look. What's the situation again? What are the challenges here, Esther? Okay, so if that's how it is, then going forward, let's do this in a very methodical, noble, kind, generous way that has, it's almost like, this is going to sound weird, like it's almost like your life is not about you, Esther. Your life is about what can you bring to this world in terms of light and hope to others. However, the challenge is exactly how, because in this world we live in a three-dimensional world, cars, houses, money, cold, hot, wet, dry, happy, sad, and so on. So you might be having doubts, okay, well, TL, thank you for those very kind of nebulous, beautiful stories and messages just now, and thanks for reminding me that I'm still going to have to be a light bearer. But the question is exactly how am I supposed to do that? Who? With whom? What? Why? When? Where? How? All of that stuff. What does that exactly look like? I don't know. All right. So anyway, maybe you don't have to know. Maybe you feel that this reading is sort of lifting a lid on of things for like looking forward, like, well, what about the future? And then realizing very, very quickly, like, oh my God, there's still work to do, folks. There's still work to do, and someone's got to do it. I'm effectively going to have to be the reluctant hero. Damn. Ugh. Okay, so how exactly we're going to do that? Kerblam. Okay. To me, this makes me feel like you've got an easy way out here, Esther. The way to do that, the actual how, the mechanisms of how to be the light bearer, how to continue to be the light bearer, is to celebrate your own life and be the most awesome person you can be in order to, guess what? See if you can fill in the blank. Rich, material version of life for your existence here on this planet Earth, so that you become the embodiment. You're a living example of a life well lived. In other words, like people could look up to you as a ray of sunshine, as a ray of hope, like, oh, wow, if Esther can do it, I can do it. So the best thing to do to be that symbol of light is to just be glorious. Be your most awesome self, your most generous, abundant self. And it kind of sets an example, and it gives, what's that expression? It was from Marianne Williamson or something, or Nelson Mandela perhaps. It's basically, by being your most awesome, abundant, wonderful, rich self, you inadvertently give light and permission and the okay for other people to do the same. It's like, oh wow, that's so cool. Like, in other words, wow, if you, let's say you are being observed by others because others are looking to you for light, to be the symbol of hope. So you just be the most awesome Esther you possibly can be. In other words, the Aries North Node. You don't worry about conditioning yourself on someone else's expectations. Don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. You just be the most awesome person you can be, tapping into what you already know works, and to continue to live a life well lived. And make that your ongoing. That's your stop. STOP. Your standard operating procedure. Live in abundance, believe in abundance, radiate the energy of abundance, and that resonates as a symbol of hope to others. How exactly? I don't know. Some of it would be obviously to do with generosity. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Esther. It could be anything about home, family, creating stability in your life, in your world, sharing your stability, your beliefs, your attitudes, your comforts, but without having to like do it as a charity. It's more like really just literally mind your own business, and by the laws of attraction, those who need your light will find you. And then you can simply share it as though you just have infinite amounts of light to give away. I'm trying to think of a good example or a good analogy. It would be like you're just going down the street or something. You're in a grocery store, or you're getting some gasoline, or you're hanging out with friends and family, and somebody seems to be weak or stumbling or frail or fragile, and they kind of look to you like, sort of, Esther, what's going on with you? How are you doing? And they look, let's say they look really sad and miserable, and you can say, oh my God, I'm doing great. You won't believe it. It's just like, I've already got a life well lived, and now look at me. It's even better than before. I don't know how it all works. It just seems to be how things are. And then others are like, wow, oh, how do you do it? How do you do that, Esther? How do you live a life well lived? And it's just like, Oh, I just make good decisions. If something seems silly to do, I don't do it. If I'm tired, I take a nap. If I need money, I find a way to get it. If I'm unhealthy, I look for a way to get healthy. If there's something I have to do, I do it. And then the other person will be looking at you like, oh, is that it? Yeah. Do you want a cup of coffee? You okay? Do you want to hang out? It's like, I don't know how else to express it. It's like, it's so simple. It's so simple. From your perspective, it would almost be happening subconsciously. And yet for others, they would perceive that as like, oh. So in other words, you're actually delivering and bringing hope and bringing love and light to others effortlessly. Alrighty. Thank you very much, Esther. And I'll see you during the week or something like that. Scott Ross. Hey, Scott. You showed up a little bit late here. I don't know if you want a reading, but it's too late. I'm not doing any more readings tonight. We've already gone almost 3 hours, so I'm kind of burned out. But hello, anyway. Hello, Scott Ross. I don't know. I can't remember if you ever came to the show before, but welcome anyway. Thank you very much, Esther. We'll follow up, okay? Just doing a quick shuffle to clear that. And then we're going to say our farewells. It's late Sunday night. We all got stuff to do, places to go, people to see. All of that good stuff. Alrighty. So, thank you everyone for your time, your kindness, your generosity. I hope you got something out of your mini readings, and we'll do this all again next week, God willing. Okay? Remember, what's the other thing I learned? I keep forgetting to say it. It goes like this. Yeah, Scott, maybe with this channel, hit the notification bell, subscribe and hit the notification bell. That's the way to have a better chance of being notified. But I'm basically, my eyes are all bugged out. I've had a lot of junk in my eyes for the last couple of days. And I had a splinter in my hand, so shuffling's been a bit tricky. And for some reason, I just went on and on and on with the readings. I couldn't stop myself because they felt very, very fluid and big, like dream-like energy coming through. I'll check my email. Thank you, necessary. I will do that. So, anyway, please, everybody, make the most of this big, fat, grand Earth trine with the kite energy. However, I don't know how to depict that. It's a kite. Make the most of it. It's still going to be here for a little bit longer. And don't be scared of the huge polarity with the opposition. There's nowhere to hide with that, so you might as well take full advantage of it and figure out anything and everything that's not working for you in relationships, and be grateful for anything and everything that is working for you. And that will be reflected back to you. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for understanding. I'm going to wrap it out now. Now I'm going to do a thing, again, like I've been doing recently, because the delay on the transmission of the channel is very, very long compared to what I'm doing here, compared to what you see over there. So I'm going to say toodaloo. I'm going to play my worldwide hit song again. And then we'll go from there. Okie dokie. So here we go. TarotLumination's wonderful worldwide hit song. It's called my 2A song, 2A sounds for Second Amendment. 2A stands for Second Amendment. It sounds like this.
Okay, I'm calling this my 2A song. It's from TarotLumination.
I already played it tonight, but I'm
Pretty
playing
rough,
it again.
but I hope you get something out of it. When will I stop being censored? All I'm doing is speaking the truth. Instead I am labeled as a domestic terrorist extremist with a short fuse. The fake news just lies and suppresses. The Marxists are writing the scripts. The unaware masses get led to their slaughter while patriots try to resist.
Everybody now!
Oh, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. Yes, we still have our sweet Constitution, but it's severely being abused. Our only solution is a new revolution to take back what belongs to you and me. I'm sick of the perverts and pedos trying to normalize child sacrifice. They revel in evil and their satanic rituals packaged in their delicious lies. No, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. It all began way back on 4th of July in 1776. The founders and fighters gave their lives for our freedom. I don't want to live through that again. You see, I'm recalling a past life from that exact time. I shed blood to shake off the chains of the tyrants and despots who owned us like cattle. But if I have to, I'll fight them again. Oh, you can't take me down and you can't shut me up. I got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, I've still got the second. I won't go down without a fight. No, you can't take us down and you can't shut us up. We got the First Amendment by right. And if the first one is threatened, we've still got the second. We won't go down without a fight. There, I hope you liked it. Gotta press the stop button now.